Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Shooting Fadeaways. I'm your host, Peter. Today, going off topic, like I mentioned before, this episode is called Stepping Out of Bounds. So, stepping out of bounds, I'm just going to be explaining, it's just me going off topic, just random things, Like I said, we'll try something new, see how it goes. It's not going to be an episode each week, but just some random shit. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is for you guys to get to know me. I mentioned, when I had like other guests and random episodes, I mentioned stuff here and there, but I really wanted to kind of get in depth with basketball, how basketball came into my life, and what I pretty much do now with basketball. So let's get right into it. So back when I was about 5 years old, maybe four. I don't remember the age, man. So I was younger. I was like 4 or 5, around there, 4 maybe. My dad and my brother, they bought me a basketball hoop. So it's one of those shitty basketball hoops, for kids and stuff like that. Just for fun, right? Got me that. They got me this orange basketball, and that was the first time I've ever played basketball. I would just shoot around that hoop in the backyard because you can bring that anywhere. Obviously, that's the reason how I fell in love with basketball, because my dad and brother got me that hoop, fell in love with it, and I was just like, oh man, dude, I'm so excited. When you're a little kid, you just play with it randomly, random days. I don't know what happened to the hoop. It was at my cousin's for a while, but yeah, it was. That's how I first came in contact with the basketball. Well, that I can remember with that hoop, and that's pretty much from that day I just fell in love with basketball. And then obviously time goes on. I moved to Kirkland. Obviously I started kindergarten there. I didn't play basketball a lot, but I did play. My main sports that I played was soccer, obviously, because my friends there, all we did was play soccer. Soccer was the easiest sport actually to play, so we would always play soccer during recess. Me, Colton, Smiley, a couple other people always played soccer. We just kept on playing from every recess we can, or we just got in trouble doing some random shit. And then and then obviously each year went by. I played basketball here and there, nothing crazy. And then it wasn't until third grade. Yeah, third grade. So went kindergarten for a second. Third grade, my best friend at the time, Colton, was joining a basketball team, and he wanted me to join. And I was like, I'm down. I definitely wanted to play basketball. I definitely played on a team. And so I went to my brother and I asked him if I could join the team, and he was like, you want to join? I was like, yeah. Obviously it costs money, back then money was tight, but he signed me up. And buddy at school named Chris came up and told me, he's like, hey dude, you're on our basketball team. And I was like, what? Because I didn't really know what the hell was going on at the time. I just wanted to join a team, that's it. And he was like, yeah, you and Colton just joined. And I was like, oh yeah, we did. And I didn't even know what team I was on. So how it worked was, these flyers that were passed out during school and stuff like that, when you joined a sports, everyone that joined from that school, that grade would be on the team. So obviously I went to Robert Frost Elementary. Everyone that was our age group joined the same team, and there was 11 of us, so which was dope. I was like, oh, and I knew all of these guys. And and then later that day he calls me. He's like, hey, we got practice on Wednesdays. And I was like, all right. So obviously I didn't have my basketball shoes yet, so I just put on some running shoes until I got them later that week. Had him, went to my first practice. So learning basketball. So before when you're younger, you would just dribble the ball, double dribble, travel. It didn't even matter. You just did it. As long as you can shoot. You didn't really understand the fundamentals and the rules. And that was a shocker to me right when I had to learn rules for basketball. I was like, oh shit, I don't know what the hell's going on. All I knew, I just knew how to shoot. And so that's when I got really more in depth with it. Third grade, when I understand, the whole traveling and stuff, doing basic moves as in learning how to pivot. I was like, oh, okay, I get it, And as it went on during practice, we practiced every Wednesday. It just kept on going on. Excuse me. And then I just pretty much, and then I didn't say I fell out of love with basketball, but it hit during third grade. It gave me a different understanding and a different love for basketball, and that's when I was like, yes, like I love this. I fucking love this shit. And so we pretty much went before I go on, practice, we kept on going, doing practice for the next few weeks every Wednesday, which was fun. I was having a blast, especially during the end of practice. We'd always scrimmage. I was just like, oh, I can't wait to scrimmage, get to play, I get to play. And then finally our first game, apparently I was a starter. I was like, oh shit, like young kid, I'm happy. I was like, oh, I'm a starter. And the position I played was power forward, and it was fun. Colton was center. So we played pretty much side by side, and my best friend, my best friend at the time, and we won our first game. Went on a few more games, or the second game. The second game was the following week. This is when I dominated this game with rebounds. I didn't even know it. I was like, what? I just went after the ball. That's what I did. When you're young, you just don't know. All you care about is just shooting the ball in a hoop. So apparently I knew how to rebound. I knew how to box out. It just came to me, I didn't know what I was doing, but I just did it. And then, dude, I don't even know how many rebounds I got. I was young. I mean, we were young, but I probably got like 15 rebounds at that game. And so when that happened, the next practice we had, the coach, both coach, our coach and our assistant coach, pretty much, they were talking about me they were just like, hey, we want to give a big congratulations to Peter. And I was like, what? I was like, I got like maybe 4 points. But they mentioned that like I was rebounding, I was getting the boards like crazy. He's like, yeah, they were just showing exactly what I was doing. And then he's like, this is hustle. And I was like, oh, so this is a good thing for me to get rebounds. So I was pretty much just getting rebounds, every practice, every game. And I was just known for that for our team. And the coaches freaking loved it. I loved it. I was like, dude, yeah, they recognize me, So pretty much as the season goes on, that's what I was known for rebounds. And that year, my first year, we dominated. Like, we were undefeated. Unstoppable. Unfucking stoppable, man. We just couldn't be stopped. We were undefeated. It was a great year. Like, I would never forget that year, man, because that was the year that pretty much I can't even say the word, but just changed who I was with basketball. What the love of basketball. Like, basketball, I loved it. It was fun, but I saw it in a different way, which was still fun, which I still loved, but I just obviously had more love for it. And so pretty much after that year, we, like with my teammates and stuff like that, it was fun, like I remember that year so well, like every game. So my very last game for us, I gave this kid a bloody nose. It was crazy. So I was trying to save the ball out of bounds. So what's weird is sometimes I can't remember how I learned things. And I was like, I just learned them and did them. So I was trying to save the ball out of bounds on our very last game. I was able to grab the ball, I turn around. So turn around, threw the ball back in. I threw it really hard, and I hit this white kid, and he got a bloody nose. I was like, what happened? And they're like, dude, you gave him a bloody nose. And when you're kids, you're like going crazy and stuff. But the thing was, it wasn't like I did it on purpose. I was trying to save the ball. He was in the way. So he was in the way. And then, obviously, throughout the game, we were already up we were up by like 6 points, and they had the ball, and I got a steal, and I was like, oh, so I'm running down court, and it was like 6 seconds left. Keep on running, and then I pulled it for a jump shot, and I made it before the buzzer. And I was like, yeah, my whole team went crazy. It's like, yeah, you beat the buzzer. I mean, it was fun. It was. Oh, dude, it was so exciting. I was like, I shot it at the buzzer, or I shot it before the buzzer, and we were up by 8. And then we obviously won by 8 because we were up by 6. But it just felt great, to hit, to have that feeling, to like, have everybody just going crazy for you. And like that moment too, those 2 moments in my basketball career, my first year, was the rebound game and that game. Cause oh man, it was just crazy. I just can't even explain it. And like, Timmy went to a lot of my games too. He went to a lot of my games. My brother went to every game, my first year, except for one game. That was that very last game. He did not go. He wasn't even in the States. He was actually on vacation, to Cambodia, I believe. I can't remember because my sister took me to the game. And oh my god, like I was like, I was just, oh man, I was so hyped. I was like, dang, I wish my brother was here to witness this, because he went to all my games, took me to all my games. So that was super exciting. And then obviously we had our last year's celebration party. We went. I got my gold medal, and they were talking about the last game. People were like, hey, remember when you threw the ball and you whacked that kid in the face? And we're just all laughing and stuff, having a great time. And that moment right there was like, or that season, I was just so happy. Like, thinking about it right now, it's like, fuck, man. I would, you just wish you can just go back in time and have that feeling again. Like, obviously I don't want to be a kid going back in time, but I just want to have that feeling again. So when you're a kid and it just felt great, to get that last steal, to do all of that. It's just such a great moment, Like, I'm pretty sure you guys have those moments too, and you just want to go back in time, just experience it again, Nothing crazy, nothing crazy. But yeah, so pretty much, yeah. So after that year, there was more people that wanted to play basketball, and what happened was I signed up late. Since I signed up late, I couldn't join the same team. Yes, it was a fucking bummer. I was fucking pissed. I was pissed, but I still was happy because I get to play basketball. But the thing was, I wanted to play with the same team. So everybody came back. Everybody except for me. Because the reason I wasn't able to come back is because more people at our school signed up for basketball. So there was a lot more people. And so they had to divide us up into 2 teams. And since I was the last one to join the first team, they put me on the second team. This wasn't the A team, B team, anything like that, because we didn't play each other or anything. But it felt like the B team. You want to know why I felt like the B team? Because we fucking sucked. We lost every game but 2 games. And I was fucking pissed. I was like, fuck. But before I go ahead, let me go back. So, yeah, but the one thing that happened that was good for me when I found out I was on that team was also my other best friend, Smiley. So those, Colton and Smiley, were my 2 best friends. So Smiley, he actually joined too. So he was on the same team as me. So I was like, oh man, I can't wait. We're going to ball out, We're going to ball out this year. And I was like, all right, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Let's fucking do it. And so what happened was we were playing with all these players that kind of weren't good at basketball. I mean, they weren't really good. Me and Smiley we were the star of the team, man. We were the star. I mean, you can ask him. We were the star. I was the shooter. He was the point guard. So what also my skill developed is I learned how to shoot the right way. So the year before we just shot it, like you were kids. You're just shooting the ball. But this year I learned how to shoot the right way. So my coach was like, this is how you shoot. And I kept on practicing that way. And that's how I developed that jump shot. And what he wanted me to do, so during practice, practice was fine and everything. And during practice, he had me shoot at a few spots. He was like, "Here, shoot here," and I would make it. Shoot here, I'd make it. Shoot here, I'd make it. I was just making it, And they kept on doing that, and I didn't really click in my head or anything. But they were like, "Hey, we're gonna move you from power forward to shooting guard." And I was like, "Shooting guard?" I was like, "What?" Okay. And he's like, "What we're gonna do is we're gonna have you play point guard and shooting guard." So I was like, "Oh, damn." I was like, "Damn, I gotta bring up the ball and shoot." And that's what I was going through my head. Young me going through my head. But anyways, I developed a really great jump shot at that age, and I became a shooter. And what they did, they positioned me more as a shooter and a point guard. I didn't really like playing point guard because I like to play off the ball more when I was younger. And yeah, I was just a shooter. I was hitting shots, making shots. We were losing because me and Smiley and maybe one other person were scoring. Not saying not to be cocky that we were good, but we were the ones making the shots, and that's where we went to. I never went to the bench during that year. Yeah, it was crazy because my first year I did go to the bench to rest here and there, but I was a starter. But this year I was a starter and I didn't go to the bench. Oh man, I was like, man, my condition is bad. I was tired, but I only rested one. There was one game where I was just like, "Coach, I need to breathe real quick." I literally sat down, took a sip of water, and 30 seconds went by, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna need you back out there." I was like, "All right, going back out." Went back out there, balled out, baby, balled out. But we lost. The 2 games that we won, I couldn't remember. I was excited though. We were going crazy, like, yeah, finally won, all that. But yeah, that year, like I said, I was pissed because we lost and everything, and we lost. But looking back now, I still had fun. Losing, I didn't matter because I still had fun. I was having fun. I just wanted to play, and that's what I did. And I became the star player in the team, and that was crazy. I was like, damn, I'm the star player. Well, it didn't hit me back then, but now I'm older. I look back, I was like, yeah, I did get the ball a lot. Plays ran through me. And also during one of the games, no, can't yet, because that was the winner. So during winter, we all decided that we wanted. There was a spring league, and I was like, oh, I want to do it. My brother didn't hesitate. He signed me up right away because, he wanted me to do sports, and so, or he knew that I loved the game, so signed up for spring. So the whole entire team signed up again for spring because this is winter. And Smiley signed up last minute, so he was able to get on the team. So, and we had this new guy named Alex, this Mexican dude, he signed up for the team. He went to the same school, but he was the new guy on the team. And spring sucked too. I think we only won 3 games, but hey, whatever. I had fun. Looking back, I did have fun. Anyways, I was pretty much still. Me and Smiley were still the players, star players, and stuff like that. And we balled out spring season that year, me and him. And then there was a problem. Something happened probably after 4 games. During practice, the coach's son and the other players, they were just acting up, and the coach made us run laps. And we're like, all right, we'll run laps. So we ran laps, did all that stuff, team thing. And then they kept on messing up, or they were doing something stupid, and we had to run laps outside. And I was like, what the hell? And I got so pissed at the team, and Smiley got pissed. And you got to understand, we were younger. We're like 4th, 5th graders, right? And I was just so pissed. I was like, dude. And I really wanted to practice because I wanted to win. And I just wanted to play. I wanted to play, and that's the reason. And I got so pissed, I quit. Yeah, that's fucking nuts. I quit. Smiley quit. So Smiley was like, dude, I quit. I can't deal with this. And then I just straight up, I quit, and we went home. Yeah, and I quit. I said, nope, no more. And during this time, my family, we were moving. And so maybe being young, the emotions didn't really hit to me. Maybe it did affect who I like with basketball because I was moving, but like you don't think about it. And especially especially being an Asian kid, you don't really think about that shit. But I was, yeah, so I was moving too at the same time. And the house is being built, and the next day in practice, so we had practice 2 times a week during spring, which was awesome because I wanted the more basketball, the better. And I didn't go to the second practice, and they assumed that I quit. And I was like, I didn't go because, so Smiley went, so Smiley joined back the team, but it wasn't for me. I didn't, and everyone thought I quit, and all that stuff. And I went. Where did I go? I went with my brother to go check out the house, or yeah, the house that we were gonna move into, look at it because it's being built and all that stuff. And and I like I quit at the moment, but I knew I didn't quit. Like I was like, no, I didn't quit. I'm still gonna play. And so Saturday comes along. I show up at the game, and then everyone, sees me. And we're like, oh hey, glad you didn't quit and stuff. Smiley was there, and I talked to my coach and assistant coach at the time, and we're like, hey, I'm glad you're here. Let's forget about everything, all that stuff, and move on. And that was my first problem I ever had with basketball. And to look back right now, I'm like, damn, I can't believe I fucking quit. But technically, what I didn't though, I didn't quit because I only missed one day of practice, and that shit still haunts me because I can't believe I quit that. I can't believe I said I quit. But luckily, luckily, the love of basketball was still with me, and I went to the game, and we didn't do too well, but I did okay. And then I had this steal in the breakaway. My assistant coach was like, "This is the time to redeem yourself." And I went for the layup, and I fucking missed that. I fucking missed. I was like, shit. And I was like, damn it, I didn't redeem myself. I was like, oh man. But the emotion was just running so high that we got the offensive rebound. I was still down low, and we missed our shot, and then I jumped, and I jumped pretty high. I had, got the rebound, able to do a putback and score, and then we went on to lose that game. And then my coach mentioned to me, he's like, hey, you're a great rebounder. And I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, that's what I did the year before. I was pretty much a rebounder. And then practice comes along. The next practice, so everyone's shooting around. My coach comes up to me and my assistant coach. We're talking. He was like, hey, you got up. You got that rebound. I was like, yeah, I used to be a rebounder. And then we're thinking about switching positions. We're going to put you at small forward. And I was like, small forward? He was like, yeah, because you obviously we still want you to shoot, but you can rebound for us. And that year, from winter to spring, I didn't do much rebounding. I was just more of a scorer. And then I kind of got back to my old ways so I could get more rebounds. And that's what we needed. And obviously for me to score. And that's what won us those 3 games when I switched back to being a rebounder. So it helped a lot. Obviously, season was coming to an end, and we lost our last game. Well, we won 3 in a row, and then we lost. So, did we lose our last game? I can't remember, but it was fun. It was crazy. Like, I didn't want to, looking back, that when I quit, like, I still had fun. I didn't, everything that happened, I'm glad it happened. And those 3 years of basketball for me was the best time of my life as a kid. Even till now, I think it's one of the best. And looking back, I miss that feeling, being on a team and stuff, and playing with those guys and the guys I went to school with and stuff. And during recess, we'd always play basketball. During recess, I'd always play basketball. After school, I'd always play basketball. I would always go to the park by our house, me and Smiley's place. And I would just hoop with Smiley, Timmy, Colton. It didn't matter. Like, we just hooped. Just had fun. We'd hoop like 2-3 hours, man. It was crazy. Like, fuck homework. We're going to hoop. And that's what I did, in elementary. I just kept on hooping. And during weekends, Colton used to call me up and like, hey, you want to go play basketball? I was like, yeah, I'm down. And we would go play basketball. We would walk to the park and go hoop. Shoot around. We played 21. We played 21 a lot. That was our game. There was like this tiny little hoop that we could dunk on. For me being that short back then, We dunked on it all the time. Like, we fucked up that hoop, man. The hoop was fucked up. But we used to do it. Like, we used to just shoot. Like, to be honest, if I went to go play on the bigger hoop, I probably would have developed my skills a lot better. But hey, man, I was having fun. We were dunking. That's all we wanted to do, was be in like the dunk contest, dunk, and all that shit. And that's all we wanted to do. And it was fun. It was definitely fun. Looking back, I never, like, you cherish those moments with those guys and those friends you have. Colton Smiley, man. It's part of growing up. Obviously, after that year, after us hooping a lot and everything at the park, at school, after school, before school, didn't even matter. We always hooped. I always brought my basketball. I was the kid that always brought the basketball. Timmy would always tag along until he switched schools because his dad moved. So, and he's my nephew. So until they had to move, and after that year, I moved. So before summer came, I moved. It was like my last 2 weeks at that school. I thought I was still gonna go to that school because I didn't even know what's going on. I didn't process it in my head. And then summer came. My neighbor had a hoop, and I just hooped there all summer. Didn't make any friends. I just hooped with my cousin. Just had fun. And then reality hit me that I was going to sixth grade. Yeah, to sixth grade middle school. I was like, oh shit, middle school. Back in Kirkland, sixth grade was elementary. Then we had junior high. So it was a different story. I was like, or a different world, and I was just like, fuck. I didn't want to deal with this shit. I don't want to change schools, make new friends, and it fucking sucked. I was pissed. Yeah. Basketball was still there. Basketball was still my best friend at the time. Yeah. It just sucked. I didn't really know what to do. Um, yeah. I'm not gonna. Well, I know. Obviously, I met Tino and stuff like that. But that'll be another episode of Stepping Out of Bounds. This is just mainly my basketball career. But anyways, the year went on. A couple months later, was on I joined another league. It was my last time I joined a league. Yeah, so I played. We sucked. We were a bunch of losers. We didn't win. We won 2 games actually, or 1 game. I don't know, but I did have fun. The basketball kept me from the emotions that I had of like missing all my friends, Smiley, Colton. Missing them, missing the life I had in Kirkland, because that life. I love that life. I did everything. I went out and did a bunch of stuff. When I moved here, I didn't really do shit. Didn't really do anything but basketball. But moving on. Yeah, so I joined the team. It was fun, Like I said, I've always had fun with basketball, and there was one game I hit 4 threes, and my coach wanted to be the shooter of the team, and he was like, nobody should be shooting these threes except for Peter. He's the one that has earned it. And I was like, man, it felt great. It felt fucking great. And yeah, in that year, I don't keep in contact with anybody on that team. Yeah, that year it was a great year. We lost a lot, like I said. We won our last game. Super excited we won our last game. I remember that game too. I had the ball last second. I just threw it in the air. I was like, screw this, we're gonna win. And I threw it in the air, just kill time, and we won. I was a great shooter in that team. I was pretty much the offense. There were like 3 other players that were good too. It's just we couldn't win. And so I did have fun. I still remember those guys. Yeah. Damn, sounds like I'm getting depressed right now. Kind of am. 'Cause, I miss that feeling. I miss all of that. It was a great time, when you're that young. And then life took a fucking turn for me. I was a troublemaker. But that will be on another episode. Yeah, I'll definitely talk about it in the next episode of Stepping Out of Bounds. But yeah, so that's pretty much how basketball was for me. How it kind of started, where it went on. Obviously, I still do play basketball. I didn't make the team in middle school, and then after that, I just didn't try out anymore. Not because I didn't want to. things changed, you know. Yeah, things changed. Like I was a different person. So, but we'll get into that next episode. Next episode, we'll talk about the move in middle school, baby. The move in middle school. All right, I'm done, motherfuckers. Hope you guys like this episode. This is Shooting Fadeaways. Like, this is still Shooting Fadeaways. All right, this I'm shooting fadeaways, and that's all it is. This is just another this segment called Stepping Out of Bounds. Right. All right. So this is Shooting Fadeaways, and I'm out. Peace.